Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Evening News for today, Saturday, July 30th, 2022. I am Timothy Jaikran. Thank you for tuning in. In the headlines, US $8 million water treatment plant, ENMORE hospital among planned initiatives for East Coast Demerara. MANICKCHAND urges parents to be on alert for locations to uplift cash grants. PSC lauds President Ali for focusing on private sector development during visit. Woman killed in LINDEN SOESDYKE highway accident, and toy gun improvised weapons among items police seized at National Park event. Now for the news in detail. A US $8 million water treatment plant and a regional hospital at ENMORE are to be funded from supplementary funds the government is seeking from the National Assembly. These are just some of the developmental initiatives coming to the east coast of Demerara. Gerald Bryan has our lead story tonight.
During the visit to Melanie, Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowe spoke from his ministry's perspective of some of the developments. The government had gone to the National Assembly for approval of $44.7 billion in supplementary funds, which will be defended at the next parliamentary sitting.
Of that $44 billion, $3.8 billion will be going to GWI to start for the construction of a number of water treatment plants on the coastline to start moving our percentage coverage. The good news for you here, and I don't know strategically why we're here, but you're right over here at Bachelor's Adventure across the road. That's where you get your well. Budgeting and the tenders are out now. So, but we have $8 million budgeted for a new water treatment plant to come right here, for which the tenders will open on the 9th of August, which will see about 10,000 persons or beneficiaries or households receiving treated water.
According to Kroll, the range of the project will cover from College End to Haslington on the east coast of Demerara. Meanwhile, another East Coast initiative referred to by Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony was a regional hospital that will be built at ENMORE.
We have a number of regional hospitals that we'll be building, from all the way up in Skeldon, right across the coast, all the way to Anna Regina. And right in your neighborhood, in ENMORE, we will be building a regional hospital. That regional hospital would have at least 75 inpatient beds, would have a modern accident and emergency, would also have modern laboratories, imaging suite, and that imaging suite would not just consist of x-rays and ultrasound and so forth, but we will also add to that imaging suite a modern CT scan. So no longer would you have to leave here to go to Georgetown and then pay maybe between $30,000 to $70,000 for a CT scan.
Meanwhile, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa assured that his ministry's technical officers will visit the community of Melanie to work with the community. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Meanwhile, during today's visit at Melanie by the government team, several residents raised concerns about land titling and African ancestral lands. In light of this, Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandalal has promised that a team from his ministry would return and look into these matters. Here is Gerald Bryan again with the details.
Attorney General Anil Nandalal was among the team of government ministers visiting Melanie on the east coast of Demerara on Saturday. During the visit, several residents raised the issue of ancestral lands and land titling, including one woman who said she paid for land since 2005 but has not gotten transports.
We need our land, we need our ancestors' land, we need land title. My husband dead and they get the transport and let me go there and they get the transport.
According to Nandalal, a team from his ministry will return to the area next week, where they will sit down with residents to address their land titling concerns.
Villages and communities that exist for decades in our country where there is no titular ownership. There is no ownership of the land that people have constructed their houses on and are living for decades, generations. So I've been going around and filling these gaps. We are doing several villages on the quarantine, West Coast Barbies, Essequibo, and in Region 3. We have one session more of Parliament, which is on the 8th. After that, Parliament goes into recess, and I plan to use that recess period to meet in the communities on the East Coast at least to begin the process of the land regularization. I hope that someone will be able to coordinate the meeting, because we'll have to come into the community, sit with you with the surveyors, do the history.
Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell also assured that work is on the way to ensure persons can get their long-awaited titles.
We have finished the occupation survey, and we have already filed the plan or we're filing the plan with Guyana Lands and Survey Commission. So by the second week of August, I'm expecting to get that approved plan, and then we will move to the next phase of processing the titles. And so I can assure you that, well, not for your emancipation, but for your Christmas, you will have your title.
Meanwhile, one resident stood up and made an urgent call for residents to take advantage of the opportunity when the ministers come to air their concerns.
We are so disorganized. We are so disorganized that our leaders are boisterous amongst us, but when this caliber of people come here, nobody's saying anything. Are we doing it lip service and reading a whole set of things? We gotta tell these people exactly what we want and what we need. This has nothing to do with PBP or PNC.
Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
To deliver the Because We Care cash grants in a timely manner, Education Minister Priya MANICKCHAND has advised parents to be mindful of the locations closest to them, where they can uplift their money. Rupa Sinarai joins us with the details.
This year, some schools will be receiving the $30,000 cash grant at different locations to optimize personnel on the ground and ensure there isn't a crowd at these points. There is a schedule with a list of schools and locations to collect the grant.
The test is, are you on the register to go to school in September? So two things. You have to be registered and you will be in school in September 2022. The children who are now going into nursery school had to have applied by the 30th of June. By now, they would know which school they have gotten. They're going to that school to receive the grant.
The prerequisite for eligibility includes being on the register for attendance in the next school year. Amid questions, she clarified that those children entering the nursery level are beneficiaries.
We believe this is going to be a great help to parents, and we know, given last year's attendance, that it was very useful. There is going to be, the one thing we couldn't fix entirely is the waiting period. We've lowered the numbers of persons at any location. So except a school has more than 1,000 children, we don't really have more than 1,000 persons at any location, unlike last year. We are unable to serve every single school at the school. So if a school has a smallish number, we ask them to go to the school close by so that we're able to group and use one set of personnel at that place. So that's why you have to look at the schedule.
For children entering primary school in September, parents are advised to look for the nursery school location to uplift the grant. Since that is where the register was last marked for the child, they will be served there. The Because We Care cash grant increased to $25,000, while the school uniform program was raised to $5,000, making it $30,000 per child for the upcoming academic year. Rupa Sinarai, The Evening News.
We now tell you that the Private Sector Commission has commended President Dr. Irfan Ali for placing emphasis on private sector development during his visit to the United States, where he has been engaging in several high-level meetings with U.S. officials in Washington, D.C. More in this Amar Prasad report.
In a statement on Friday, the Private Sector Commission lauded President Dr. Irfan Ali for focusing attention during his meeting with the U.S. Deputy Secretary of Commerce, Don Graves, on private sector development in Guyana. According to the Commission, open quote, the private sector is pleased to note that the U.S. Deputy Secretary of Commerce, in his meeting with President Ali, pledged support for and committed to working with Guyana in the areas of banking, finance, and tourism, as well as facilitating U.S. private sector investment in Guyana." End quote. President Ali and Deputy Secretary Graves met on Monday and had fruitful discussions. Whilst the U.S. official committed support to the Guyana government in a number of areas, the head of state also committed to working closely with the Department of Commerce and other U.S. agencies to facilitate U.S. private sector investment in Guyana. Meanwhile, the PSC also said it is particularly encouraged by the agreement entered into by the Guyana government with the U.S. Exim Bank to facilitate financing, including direct loans and medium and long-term guarantees for financing U.S. exports for the government of Guyana's development projects. The Commission indicated that it stands ready to utilize this financing for its participation in the country's project development in partnership with the U.S. private sector. On Wednesday, a $2 billion memorandum of understanding was signed between Guyana and the U.S. Exim Bank, and according to the Guyanese leader, this funding will go a long way towards aiding Guyana to be a leader in the areas of climate change and food security. President Ali led a team of government officials to the U.S. Capitol this week and has been engaging senior U.S. leaders, including Vice President Kamala Harris, on collaboration in a number of areas, including climate change, environment, sustainable development, food security, and energy, among others. Accompanying the head of state on this visit are Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Minister Hugh Todd, and Foreign Secretary Robert Prasad. They are joined by Guyana's ambassador to the U.S., Samuel Hines, and Deputy Chief of Mission at the Guyana Embassy in Washington, Zulfikar Ali, during these meetings. For the evening news, Amar Prasad.
Coming up on the other side of the break, woman killed in SOESDYKE Linden highway accident. Please stay tuned.
Optic offers great patient care that is tailored for my entire family.
At Optic, a wide selection of affordable optical frames and optical services are available to fit your budget.
At Optic, my family is provided with comprehensive eye examination and access to the ophthalmology services, all under one roof.
Optic takes pride in delivering exceptional customer service and a unique experience to you, our customers.
Optic Vision Care is a company that is Guyanese born and grown that will help you take care of your precious eyes.
Try our virtual sports and win big with so much matches to choose from. Betting starts at $100. Play for your chance to win. Log on to www.superbet.gy or visit any one of our agents to place your bets. Terms and conditions apply. Have fun and play responsibly. Must be 18 and over to play.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. An elderly woman was killed and several others injured on Thursday evening after the motor car they were traveling in reportedly suffered a blowout and flipped several times on the SOESDYKE-Linden highway. Dead is 69-year-old Marva Alder of Wismar Housing Scheme Linden. The accident occurred sometime around 19 hours in the vicinity of Long Creek. According to reports, Alder and 3 other persons were passengers in a hire car traveling on the highway when the driver claimed his left side front wheel blew out. This resulted in him losing control of the vehicle, and it flipped several times before coming to a halt. Alder was taken out of the vehicle in an unconscious condition and pronounced dead at the scene by an EMT doctor. The other 3 passengers in the vehicle were taken to the Mackenzie Hospital. Simone Barker was admitted as a patient in the female surgical ward suffering from head injuries, while Mervyn McAndrew and Joel McAndrew were admitted in the male surgical ward for observation. The driver, a resident of Phase 1B Wisrock Housing Scheme, was breathalyzed, but no trace of alcohol was found in his system. Ranks of the Guyana Police Force last evening confiscated several items from patrons entering the Emancipation Juve held at the National Park in Georgetown. According to the police force, there were about 2,500 persons in attendance at the event. Full police coverage was provided, and during routine searches conducted at the gate, ranks found and confiscated improvised weapons, scissors, lighters, and a toy gun. Meanwhile, the police say there were no incidents during the event. This heightened security at the National Park comes on the heels of an incident during an event back in May. Chaos had erupted in the National Park during the Badoration concert when dancehall artist Skeng was performing. Videos circulated on social media show that in the midst of the artist's performance, gunshots were fired by patrons attending the concert. There were no reports of anyone being injured by the gunshots, but some persons sustained minor injuries after glass bottles were thrown into the crowd. There were reports as well of Bank's DIH bar at the event being robbed. Additionally, the police had also arrested one person who was found with an illegal gun. Following the incident, Police Commissioner Clifton Hicken had met with the promoters of the event and had ordered the heightened security to be placed for future events. Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindhya Prasad has called for a coordinated approach against trafficking in persons during an awareness walk her ministry hosted on Friday to commemorate World Day Against Trafficking in Persons 2022. Here is Shane Marks with more.
While addressing supporters of anti-trafficking in persons on Friday, Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindhya Prasad said that there must be a coordinated approach between different agencies against trafficking in persons.
Today, we are all in blue, the color that represents the stance against trafficking in persons. But there are many more things that we ought to do, and one of those things that we must have is a coordinated approach against trafficking in persons, which means every agency, every department, every ministry, every private sector entity, every mission, we need to stand and not only raise our voices against trafficking in persons, but we need to encourage people to report it. That is the only way that we will be able to really help someone who is being trafficked.
The minister said that the fight against trafficking in persons is not a one-man fight, but a fight that involves everyone.
Many times, those who are trafficked are not able to report this for themselves. Many times, we have to do this. It is a big responsibility, but I think it's a responsibility when you recognize the impact on those persons' lives. You want to take it on as your own. In essence, I'm saying this is not a one man or one woman or one agency battle. It's a battle that should involve everyone.
World Day Against Trafficking in Persons is observed on July 30th in a bid to raise awareness about the ordeal of human trafficking victims and the ways to safeguard their rights. Trafficking in persons is a crime in Guyana and is punishable by imprisonment of a minimum sentence of not less than 3 years and a maximum sentence of not more than 5 years, according to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Shane Marks, The Evening News.
On the heels of Emancipation Day observances, Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton has encouraged young Guyanese of African descent to capitalize on and come up with ways to monetize their cultural talents and skills. Amar Prasad has more.
Labour Minister Joseph Hamilton made this remark during an emancipation celebration hosted by his ministry. While noting that the history is important, the minister urged young Afro-Guyanese to concentrate on the present and future.
History and where you're coming from is useful and is a good thing. But for you young people here, what will take you forward is concentrating on the now and the future. History is what it is. It is important, it is useful. For those who will perform today, our culture, our arts, it cannot be anymore where drumming is just for the sake of drumming. Dancing is just for the sake of dancing. We must reach a place whereby we can monetize whatever skill set we have. And that is the challenge we have.
Just recently, President Dr. Irfan Ali had announced an action plan to enhance Guyana's local entertainment industry to international standards so young, upcoming and other local artists can have greater benefits. He had indicated that the government is mulling various ideas to push the entertainment sector to the next level, which includes having an artist exchange program with Barbados, propelling local artists to be a part of cruise liners' entertainment programs, investing in the gaps in the industry to ensure that persons from all genres can thrive, and a special initiative with the private sector to raise resources for priority areas. A number of other initiatives surrounding dance and other talents were suggested by the President. Meanwhile, during Friday's Emancipation celebration, Minister Hamilton highlighted that thanks must be given to the first Africans who were brought to Guyana as slaves and those who struggled and fought for freedom so that their descendants can benefit from equal rights and opportunities.
Every place in this country, every sector, you have prominently represented people of African descent whose parents they came on slave ships to this country. And for that, we must celebrate, we must applaud our forebearers for persevering so that today we can sit at the highest table, at the highest echelons of government in this country we call Guyana.
For the evening news, Amar Prasad.
We will now take a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Sunday, July 31st, at 10 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Sunday, July 31st at 5 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours.
And now the local stock exchange market, compliments of Gassi. Alicock records win over Kenya. This and more coming up in the Sportscast sponsored by MACCORP.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store, located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rijnveld.
Do you own a business or thinking about starting one? Then let us help you make some money. BPATS has a wide variety of products that are used in everyone's daily life. So whether you're a roadside vendor, small shop owner, or supermarket owner, we have what you need to stock your business with quality products. Wholesale prices, merchandising, delivery, and even credit are some of the services we offer. So come visit us at BPATS for your customer needs.